Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Get early access to Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. 25% off the i8 bed, our most popular. Plus free home delivery. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Dreaming of blissful summer days and creamy popsicles? Capture sun-drenched memories with the Orange Vanilla Dream Hydration Multiplier from Liquid IV. Just one stick and 16 ounces of water can help hydrate you better than water alone. Live your summer dream with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code INDULGE20 at checkout.
Oh, hot, 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 hot! Hot, 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 hot!
Hot topic. Hello and welcome to the Hot Topic. News, stuff,
it's
current
hot.
affairs,
Hot.
and hot
Extra spicy for you today.
Neurospicy, as you might say.
Neurospicy, you might say.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good tagline, actually. What's in the news today? Neurospicy, you might say. Why not? Put it on a t-shirt.
So what is the Neurospicy news
Neurospicy news?
this week?
Go on, football. Go on, England.
Football things. Oh dear. This is why no one likes football.
No, it's actually the ladies. The ladies have won the Women's Euros tournament. And the most un-England thing ever. They did it with grace. Nobody fell on the floor and rolled around. And they won on penalties. What a timeline we live in. So the England women's team won the Euros. It's the second time they've won it, back to back. They've now won more international tournaments than the men have ever won. First England team to ever win a tournament on foreign soil. Done a lot of box ticking of records and great successions. It's been a wonderful day for the Lionesses earlier this week. But one of the reasons as to why it's neurodivergent news is because Lucy Bronze, who is, I mean, blimey, looking at some of the stats here, has won the Ladies Champions League 5 times, has won the women's, equivalent of the Premier League, the Women's Super League, twice with Liverpool, once with Manchester City, once with Chelsea. Go to Chelsea. And, was now won 2 major tournaments with England, won PFA Women's Player of the Year, UEFA Women's Player of the Year, Best FIFA
She's
Women's
well
Player.
good, isn't it?
She's a bit good, mate.
Yeah, probably one of the greatest female players ever to grace the sport. Just the one, in fact, sod that. Just one of the greatest players.
Yeah, honestly, and watching her, brilliant. Honestly, what a brilliant player. But Lucy Bronze was officially diagnosed with autism and ADHD in 2021, though she and her family had suspected it long before. She said in an interview with Alex Scott earlier this year, BBC presenter, as a child, was shy, had trouble sleeping, later developed habits such as compulsive touching of my hair and self-soothing mechanisms. And she also said that she really struggled with basic communication when fitting into the England team. One of the social gestures that a lot of footballers have is they have to hug each other and stuff before the game. She said she always found it really hard. And I did not know this at all. And then after sort of watching an interview with her, and she's got the sort of autistic accent that sort of stays on the one note and everything. And I was like, my people. I was kind of blown away by it.
It's so good to get this neuro-affirming, positive, especially positive female role models for all autistic people, but also young autistic girls as well, who are really struggling, especially when it comes to masking and social expectations of how women should behave and things like that. And I'm really pleased for my own daughter as well, even though she herself is a role model, and the things that she does and the advocating and She does mentoring as well. She has a mentoring business. And, she's just graduated as a marine biologist, and she's going to be saving turtles all over the world. So Sophie is inspirational herself, but obviously she doesn't have this sort of huge platform. But even she was super impressed by this. She was like, this is just wonderful, because she actually watched the women's final with my son, because my son's really into women's football. He goes to women's Chelsea games a lot.
Oh, brilliant.
He watches it on TV.
They're an unreal team, the women's Chelsea team as well.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Really good, man.
Yeah, I mean, he is really into women's football as much as he is into men's football. And so he got my daughter to watch, because she doesn't really like football at all. So he got her to watch it with him, and she loved it. She loved it, and she was going on about the last penalty and how somebody did a skip before they shot or something like that. And,
they did,
and I was like, that sounds really, really cool. But I don't really like football anymore. Football is something that will always be a part of my life, but it's not basketball. That's what I'm saying. But putting that aside, it's so good to see this positive role model, because the article, well, there's quite a few articles that cover her being neurodivergent, but the terminology used is very positive. It's neurodivergent. And she talks about how it, being ADHD has helped her. And the hyperfocus of being autistic has, got obsessed with football in her words. And it was that hyperfocus, that level of energy and hyperactivity that makes her so successful, which is something we have spoken about so many times. We talked about it with Luka Doncic. I've talked about it with we talked about it with Tiger Woods, the possible neurodivergence of Tiger Woods, and obviously Lionel Messi is diagnosed. I'm sure Cristiano Ronaldo is. The strongest man in the world is diagnosed autistic. We, I think, are built for success, and I think that it's more of the fact that because we're different, because we're built different, we get shunned and thrown to the side of not being good enough. And I think that given the opportunity to thrive, there would be a lot more neurodivergent people reaching their full potential, like Lucy has. But that's another thing in the article that it mentions, is the fact that it looks like at least a quarter of the women in the Premier League, Women's Premier League, whatever it's called. What is it called?
The Super League.
Let me start that bit again. So it seems like a quarter of the women in the Super League have neurodivergent traits, but yet they are, I don't want to say ashamed, maybe embarrassed, the usual autism closet reasons that they don't want to come out and talk about it. But Lucy has, and that's amazing. And I think that it's always good when people of her caliber do that.
Well, the thing is, man, is when you look at her career, she was in a team that won. She was at the Lyon team in like the late 2010s that won 3 Women's Champions Leagues in a row. She's then gone to like Barcelona, which was then considered one of the greatest, Champions League women's teams of like this modern era. And like 2 out of the top 3 of the top teams she's been a part of, which if this was in like men's football, you'd be like an icon winning 5 Champions Leagues, like 3 with one team, 2 with another. And one of the things that I loved what she's talked about as well, where she said like, she's used the sort of like superpower rhetoric around like her ideas of like being super focused. Like she said, people say to me, "Oh, you're so passionate about football." So I don't know if I'd say I'm passionate. I'm obsessed. It's my hyper focus. And when I think about like even the position that she plays on the pitch, it requires so much ability of reading the game. You know, being a fullback, you see all of the pitch in front of you and you're seeing it all down to the side. And there's so much like micro detail and pattern matching that will happen in that position. And that's why she's been so incredibly successful, because, you know, you can see the game sort of developing in and around and in front of you. But that makes total sense to me that the top echelon of players would be ND. You know, like we've discussed names like Tiger Woods. We just talked about like Tom Brady as well, didn't we? How he discussed how the game would slow down for him. And
Michael Jordan as well. Yeah. Michael Jordan
like,
diagnosed ADHD.
Literally, they'd say like, "Oh, everything was moving in slow motion around me," and I think it's awesome not just for neurodivergent people, but for just, you know, women people that like sport in general. I mean, my partner, Karis, she's from a family that are obsessed with Man United. Like her dad supports it. Her mum's a huge football fan.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know. It's you know, can't be perfect.
Sad.
I suppose we all can't be perfect. Sad news. Great for my banter though. But she was sat on the sofa with me, and she's never been bothered about football, but she loves watching women's football and supporting them. And when they were all like celebrating at the end and doing their interview, she had like tears in her eyes. She was like, "Oh my God, like, I just can't imagine how they must be feeling." And I watched Lucy Bronze, and she was just like so chilled. She like totally took it in her stride and was just like, "Yep, you know, winning's just a part of what I do." And all of like the parade footage and things that I've seen of like little girls on like people's shoulders and stuff, and you've got like dads, mums, and all of the kids kind of watching women's football. I really hope it is an avenue for people just to kind of watch sport. Like if your son's going to like women's Chelsea games, I hope Sophie goes with him. I think that would be awesome if she was to sort of like, you know, enjoy sport and feel inspired by people. But even more so when one of the top names in the game is openly ND. I think that's great. Like if Lionel Messi came, you know, who is autistic, did a talk about being autistic, game changer. That would just accelerate like so much in the minds of people. So I think it's great when sports people speak out.
I agree with you to an extent. And that extent is, yes, if this article is seen, if this article is read, it would hopefully, you know, change some people's view of autism, change the negativity surrounding the idea that we are less than, that we are broken, that we can't achieve things because of our autism. And what I like about the article is she doesn't, which is what a lot of celebrities, a lot of successful people, they don't say, "I've achieved this despite being autistic or despite being ADHD." It's the media will say that. The charities who are trying to take your money by making you feel sorry for us, they will say that because it's part of their, oh, well done. And I've had that said to me. Yeah. I've had that said to me. It's like, "Oh, these are your pictures. Despite your autism, you're so good at photography," which is why I called myself the autistic photographer, because I kept telling people the reason I'm good at photography is because I'm autistic. It's because I have ADHD. It's because of these things. That's why I got so good so quickly. That's why I'm exceptional at the thing that I put my mind to. That's the power. I'm not massively positive on all her terminology, because I definitely feel like this is just somebody, and her thing is football. That's her special interest. Her special interest is not autism. It's not neurodivergence. That is what we do.
Yeah.
That is what makes me the specialist, is because that's what I specialize in. I'm not a football specialist. She is, and she's very fucking good at it. So my only issue with when people like Lucy, like the world's strongest man, Tom
is it
the
Eddie
Albatross.
Hall?
No, it used to be Eddie Hall. It's Tom the Albatross. That's his nickname. people like that, even Greta Thunberg, who I've got a lot of respect for, when people who are autistic, but their special interest isn't autism, and they don't really know or are within the community as much as a lot of the us advocates are, they will, it's almost toxic positivity of words like superpower and things like using the word obsessed. It's like those are terminologies that they're not wrong, they're not bad, but they're just not, they're not good. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just skewed. But the fact is that it's fine. Like that's the point, is that people will pick these things apart and they might find the negative side of it. I know my brain does that. It just goes, oh, that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah.
But if you look at it overall, it's a wonderful thing. But like what you were saying with how it's so inspirational and how it will change people's mindsets, is it's not like Lucy's the first person to do it. So many people with huge profiles, like Greta Thunberg, for instance, and Chris Packham, will do wonderful documentaries, wonderful articles, interviews, and they will say everything that she is saying, the same. It's all the same. And nothing seems to be getting better for us. And maybe that's just me being pessimistic, but I'm part of a huge community and I see so much misunderstanding about neurodivergence. It's why we do this every week.
Mm.
It's why I did the book. So it's great that Lucy's come out. It's great when anyone comes out, and I wish more people and I think maybe that's it. Maybe because it's just one person here, one person there. But if we're going to make it the norm, as it were, it's normal. It's just part of being human, is that you will have diversity within thinking. Wouldn't it be wonderful if somebody like Lucy or somebody like Chris Packham or whoever it is actually understood the neurodivergent brain to be able to talk about that? Because I don't see that. I don't see anyone talking about synaptic pruning. I don't see anyone talking about the evolution of the neurodivergent mind. I don't see anyone talking about how the fact that we are supposed to exist, the fact that we benefit society. They kind of prove that point. But it'd be nice that if people are going to be positive, people who have a large platform are going to be inspirational, it would be good if they had more of a working knowledge of what the neurodivergent brain is.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, and I suppose that was a bit of my sort of like naivety with it, because you are right. If there is a figure that's like this who's talking about autism and ADHD, again, it's always seems to be like it referred to as a superpower, and you'll get a lot of people that will go, "Oh well, despite my autism or my ADHD," and using these like sorts of like little bits of language that just do affect your perception of how you read it. You're right. If there was a Premier League footballer that was openly autistic ADHD and could go and talk about it, like you can, or like I can, and other people can, it would really help. But like you say, it's just a handful of people. It's like certain people in certain sectors, and there are so many more of us. And if there was more of us openly talking about it and speaking about it, it was saying, what was it, the number you quoted earlier, like over a quarter of people in the England team or the women's team?
Yeah, that's what the article estimates, that it's like 25% of the women in the Super League have neurodivergent traits, of which they count as like the most stereotypical thing of like, well, they struggle with social interactions or they're
Eye
incredibly
contact
energetic.
Yeah.
And it's like, and struggle to concentrate. So it's like, okay, it's a little bit like saying, oh, well, they really struggle with spelling, so they must be dyslexic.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's this article is what I call surface fluff. It doesn't delve deeper beyond the surface. Like you can't see beyond the fluff. So it's like, hey, everybody, yay, autism, great, ADHD, great, yay. Well, it's fucking not for a lot of people. I'll tell you that right now. It's the two sides of the same coin. It's disability and ability. And it's great talking about the abilities and it's great talking about the positive sides. But I get sick of people talking about the positives and never mentioning the negatives at all. Because what this article and others like it screams at me, and I really didn't want to be negative, but it kind of just, it's just where I've just ended up, is people who aren't neurodivergent, the people we really want to get through to a lot of the time, because they're the people that can really influence change. In other words, the majority, so the predominant neurotype, they have so much power as the majority to decide how we get treated as the minority. That's a huge problem, which is why we need allies. So in order to gain allies, I would rather have allies that truly understand what it is to be us than, oh, good for you. Well done. You're the most highly decorated female footballer on the planet. Well done. Good job. Tap on the head, because if they don't truly understand neurodivergence, that's what this article comes across as, is it's like a little kid, you know, who did a nice drawing and you put it on the fridge, but you know it's not that good because you don't expect it to be good because it's a little kid. And I don't know. I think it kind of deflates me because this is what you call a fluff piece.
It's a good point. It's something to also, like, if you're listening to this and you are reading things about sports people or whatever that are neurodivergent, it's a good thing to kind of keep your eye on as well. It helps you sort of understand where it is. But I think you make a great point there, and I think we'll end on this, is that we are trying to, you're trying to change the mind of the majority, aren't we? We're trying to show them what we can do, but we also need to talk about what we can't do to educate and to normalize the spectrum, not just the bits that people are comfortable with observing and talking about.
Well, I think that's why I like, sorry to interrupt, I think that's why I like the Jamie Oliver article, because I think that one was more balanced. So yeah, that's the word. That's what we need from these articles. We need more balance.
And on that note, we shall wrap up. Thank you so much for sticking with us for the hot topic. It was a good one. Go on, England. Go to Gills. And we'll be back on Thursday with another mainstay episode of the Neurodivergent Experience. Bye, everybody. Take care of yourself. Be kind.
Nightly bye.
Nightly bye. Thanks for tuning in to the Neurodivergent Experience. We hope today's episode sparked something for you, whether it's a new idea, a bit of validation, or just a moment of connection. Remember, new episodes are every week, so be sure to join us for the next one for more conversations and insights into the neurodivergent experience. If you've enjoyed this podcast, help us grow. You can do that by rating and reviewing this show. Your support makes a huge difference in helping us reach more people who could benefit from these conversations. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just search for the Neurodivergent Experience. Thank you again for listening. And until next time, take care of yourself. You're not alone in this journey.
Dreaming of blissful summer days and creamy popsicles? Capture sun-drenched memories with the Orange Vanilla Dream Hydration Multiplier from Liquid IV. Just one stick and 16 ounces of water can help hydrate you better than water alone. Live your summer dream with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code INDULGE20 at checkout.